Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen, and welcome back to Papa Boris Sucks at Hearthstone Arena. This is not the best run I've ever had. The draft was bad. We got Elven Archer and Ironforge Rifleman, and I made some dodgy choices in the draft that were not helped by the fact that I never saw any swipes or starfalls. And we got smashed the first two games. We actually had a 3-game video number 1. I was thinking maybe if I would just lose, it would just be one video. Have my second 0-3 run in the history of my Hearthstone Arena career, but no, managed to win that game against a warrior who didn't really do anything special. And so now I'm actually hoping I can get a couple of wins, both to salvage my dignity and also to actually complete the daily quest I just spawned for winning 2 games with Druid. Zoo the Priest. This could have been a claw. Instead, it is going to be a mulligan, and I'll keep the Keeper of the Grove because sometimes that will really help you on turn 4. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you get a hand like this and you really should have mulliganed that Keeper of the Grove. Well, learn from my mistakes, folks. Learn from my mistakes. That's why you shouldn't get angry when I make mistakes, because if I make them, you don't have to. Alright, what do we got here? We got Wrath. Well, that's actually a very good draw. So at least I can kill Northshire Clerics, dropping down on turn 1. And other such threats. Boink. Gonna coin out. Well, it's almost certainly gonna die to Wrath, unless it's like Nat Pagel or something weird. Or Armor Smith, but that's a warrior card, so what am I talking about? Mighty Berserker, that is definitely getting wrathed, and that's nice because at least it gives me something to do on my turn. Mark of Nature, man, I have not been happy with that card this draft, but that's probably because I don't have a low enough curve to really appreciate it. Quite a few things have to go your way for you to be able to Mark of Nature a Yeti or something, and I really wish one of these were a 3-mana minion, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble if I don't get a good top deck. Ah, Master Swordsmith, well, I'm glad I killed the Berserker with the Wrath and not this stupid guy. Frostwolf Warlord, unhelpful. I am actually going to hit my opponent in the face. Now, against other classes, I would actually ping the Master Swordsmith. Problem is, my opponent, the Priest, can heal it up later, so it seems a little bit silly. Now, maybe I could have taken... You know what? Maybe I should have taken that chance. I think a point of damage on my face was worth the chance instead of having a target for the Keeper. Oh, God. Alright, so this is how we're going to be, huh? So, do we play the Yeti, or do we silence this Golem? That's the question. I think I'm going to play the Yeti. It's a little bit risky, but the Yeti doesn't die to Shadow Words, and these guys don't quite have enough power to kill him. You need a buff. And, of course, it's likely that he has one, but, you know, when you're behind, take risks. And all that jibbity-jibbity jazz. What's cool is if I put Mark of Nature on this guy, he's still going to have 4 power. So, it'll be still difficult for my opponent to kill it. Lightwell. Oh, jeez. We have Inner Fire coming down the pike. Is that what's happening? Alright. Oh, God. The Lord. Well, actually, this is pretty great. I have lots of silences. That's pretty sweet. I think what I'm going to do is play Keeper of the Grove and just kill this thing. We're going to kill this Master Swordsmith. So I got some serious card advantage right there because I just killed 2 minions, but didn't lose any of my own minions in exchange. And I've got another silence here. Probably going to silence the Lightwell, because the Yeti and the Keeper of the Grove will deal with the Harvest Golem easily enough. Now, actually, he's playing Acolyte of Pain, which is really good for me. Had he played a real 5-drop here, I would have been in much worse shape, but this is just... I mean, it'll draw him some cards, but it's not really that great. My health total's getting a little dicey, but I think we're doing fine here. Alright, so what's the best way to proceed? We have, you know, Frostwolf Warlord, make it a 6/6 while we have the chance. We could do this while we still have cards. Well, I don't really want this Acolyte running into the Keeper and drawing cards. I think that's actually what I really want to silence. Although I could just kill it. I could just kill it with the Yeti, leave this Golem around for now. Yeah, I really want to take care of this Golem, though. Yeah, I'm going to silence this. We're going to do this. I'm going to shapeshift to kill the damaged Golem. And I don't... Actually, I'm gonna hit this Lightwell so that if he attacks the Yeti with the Lightwell will at least die. Oh wait, I'm stupid! I'm bad at this game. The Lightwell's gonna heal itself. That was a mistake. Yeah, there was no reason. I just lost a point of damage on this guy for nothing. Now you should use the Lightwell probably to kill the Chillwind Yeti, unless he really wants to preserve the Lightwell, as it seems he does. Alright, well, that was a little bit of a misplay there by Papa Boris. We're still doing okay, though. We got this Ironbark Protector. I mean, really, my main fear is that he has a mind control and just, you know, steals this Ironbark, which I can't deal with. Alright. You know, we should probably kill this Lightwell, shouldn't we? Really should. So I'm going to play Razorfin Hunter. I think I'm going to take this opportunity to grab a Soul of the Forest. And, well, okay, we'll wait on that Lightwell. Let's actually just clear out his other minions first. There we go. So if he Holy Novas now, I'm going to get a bunch of trees. You can kill the Spellbreaker. And then Holy Nova. Yeah, really all I'm afraid of is a mind control for this. I mean, obviously Shadow Word Death would kill it too. But if he's not careful, I'm going to get a giant Frostwolf Warlord, so this could actually bait the Shadow Word Death before I play the Ironbark. The nice thing is that I'm the first player. Oh, jeez. This guy. Alright. You do that. You do that. I have enough power to kill it, but I do have to, which is kind of annoying. Alright. Well, I think before I lose the opportunity... you know, if I play the Crocolisk and then the Warlord, this Drake's getting awfully small. Yeah, I think this is fine. So I'm going to play the Frostwolf Warlord. I have enough mana left over to Shapeshift, so I can use that to kill this Lightwell, finally. And then everything else has exactly the damage needed in order to finish off this Doomsayer. So, yeah, if he's got a Shadow Word Death, I'll have to use it on the Warlord, obviously, now. If this Warlord survives the turn, that means he has no Shadow Word Death. And even if he has Mind Control for this later, or my Ironbark, I'm going to get a lot of damage through if he's not careful. This is a lot. Here's a really good illustration of where Ravenholt Assassin is not a good card. If you're behind the way that he is, it's just really ineffectual. Let's play Ironbark Protector. And swing for lots and lots of damage. So I haven't really been putting any damage on him at all this game, but I just caught up. He's a turn away from Mind Control, and I am threatening lethal in a variety of fashions. Note that this will probably now be used for 4 attack as a kind of burn spell. It's going to silence the Ironbark, which lets the Ravenholt Assassin attack by, but this is still an 8/8, so it's not that significant. Might even have been better to silence this Warlord or something, to drop its power and health. Does he have a point of damage? This guy only deals 7. He can't quite kill the Ironbark or the Warlord. I guess silencing the Taunt, if he doesn't have a buff, allows him to kill one of my other minions. But all these guys get replaced by a tree, which hits just as hard as they do. Divine Spirit. Well, that allows the Ravenholt Assassin to survive against my 8 dudes. But remember, an almost dead creature is better than an already dead creature. This guy might be wounded, but he's still hitting for 8, so yeah, that's just lethal right here. I've got 16 damage. We'll let the little piglet finish him off. And there we go. Pretty easy game against a priest. I managed to put on too much pressure before he could mind control his way to victory, if indeed he even had a mind control at all. Well, now we can actually make it to 3 wins, which is average, and finish off a 40 gold daily quest. I tried re-rolling another 40 gold quest, and I got this 40 gold Druid quest. What I really need to do, someone made a Reddit thread a while back, I don't know if I saved it or if I can find it. It has like the different probabilities of getting each quest, and I think I want to make a short Hearthstone guide just computing what the odds are of getting a 60 gold quest on any given day, so that we can calculate the expected gold gain for a player over time if they just do daily quests and don't spend money on the arena. Rovius Wade. Ho! Okay, sorry. This is a tough call. You know, I'm just gonna keep this hand, because I can coin out the Wild Growth on turn 1, and then I've got 3 drops to play on turn 2. The issue, of course, is that these are shitty 3 drops. Well, this is a shitty one. This one is vulnerable. But it's possible that as a priest he has a slow start. I mean, some priests do start slow. So if he doesn't have anything on turn 2, then I could actually play this and just be like, what's up, boy? You better deal with it, or you lose the game. Kind of a thing. Northshire Cleric. God, Jesus. Well, anyway, we're still going to do this. honestly. So, well, let's see what he does before we make any conclusions. I could definitely play a Questing Adventurer in front of a Northshire Cleric. He could run in and heal it, but that would just draw him a card and leave the Questing Adventurer alive, which is all I really want. He's going to Mind Vision. Pretty happy to see that. Reduces the potential number of plays he could have, and these are honestly not very good cards. Alright, well, yep, let's try it out.
Give me a quest.
So here, Shattered Sun Cleric would be the worst thing he could have. It would buff the Northshire Cleric and kill my Questing Adventurer. But if he doesn't have an answer to this right now, he'd be in trouble. He has a Rifleman. Oh my god, are you kidding me? God, Jesus. Alright, whatever, it happens. So, instead of playing Sen'jin, I'm going to shoot down that Northshire Cleric to get my card advantage back. So he's got 5 cards to my... Well, he's got 6 cards to my 5, soon to be 6. And I look like I'm the first player. I really was actually the second player of this game. But I look like I was the first. He's gonna trade off. Sound play. I could Innervate, that doesn't seem all that useful. I could play this guy who will trade for both my opponent's minions. I'm gonna do that, actually. I mean, that's just pure card advantage there. If this one card trades for both of his. The problem, of course, is if he buffs him up, but he didn't have the Shattered Sun Cleric last time, and their health is so low that compared to my minions, they would die anyway. Unless he buffed like this with a Shattered Sun Cleric and killed my Squire, but then I could finish it off with Shapeshift. So anyway, this is actually fine. So we are equal on cards. I'm drawing ahead. We'll just say that I'm the first player here. I played the coin and Wild Growth to essentially be as if I was the first player of this game. So I'm drawing a card ahead as the first player, and I'm currently threatening to gain card advantage. Well, I'm not exactly threatening, because he can leave these guys in stealth, and because I don't have Swipe or Starfall, there is nothing I will ever be able to do to them. But if they're just sitting there the entire time doing nothing, I'm okay with that as well. What's interesting is that if he doesn't trade off these minions, I can actually play Sen'jin, Innervate, Soul of the Forest next turn, and have a pretty good Soul of the Forest. In general, I'd be happy to play this for 2 minions, but if you can play it for 3, that's certainly great. My opponent is thinking up a storm here. Rovius Wade. Maybe that should be the title of this arena. It'll be completely pointless, and I think most people wouldn't even get the joke. It's not that good of a joke, honestly. Alright, well, he decides to suck up the card disadvantage, and I think he made the right play, because now he's threatening to get his cards back, which is totally legit. I could do this, Innervate, and Sen'jin, and waste a little bit of the Innervate, or I could just play this thing. I'm going to play this thing. I probably wouldn't do this against somebody who wasn't a priest, but a priest just has such a difficult time killing this minion, because it has a lot of health, Divine Shield, and it dodges Shadow Words. Mainly I'm concerned that he will now play cards and come out ahead. Because right now I draw a card ahead on my turn. He only needs to get 1 spell with this guy to get ahead of me. And Innervate is kind of a problem. I'm actually gonna like go down a card once I play Innervate. Unlike Wild Growth, Innervate cannot be used to get a card when you're at 10 mana crystals. So I just have to use it at some point and go a card down. Definitely not the most impressive Innervate ever. Alright, so the Gadsden Auctioneer does end up drawing a card, although in a slightly unpredictable fashion. And wow, he just concedes. Okey-doke. I guess he was very frustrated. So we make it to 3 wins. After starting off 0-2, we crawl back to be 3-2. And that means I make my prediction. I predicted I would get 3 to 5. And it's, you know, it's possible. It's possible that I will fail my prediction by making it all the way up to 6, but I really don't think that this deck is that good. I don't have that much confidence in the deck at all. Alright, I'm gonna apologize for my chewing and open up a bag of fruit snacks. Eat a bag of fruit snacks every day, kids. Make sure you get the kinds that have 100% vitamin C. And that's how you can stay healthy. Or Bam Bam the Paladin. Oh, this could have been a claw. I keep saying that. Anyway, do I keep the Yeti because it's a good card? Nah. Okey-doke. I hope he passes on turn 1, as I always do. Doopity-boopity-doo. Okay. One thing that is worth noting here is that coining out this and playing Wild Growth is the same as playing coining Wild Growth and then playing this, if you don't have a 3-drop to play on turn 2. Since I don't have a 3-drop to play on turn 2, It would have been a mistake to coin out the Wild Growth, because this guy, I mean, it's the same exact thing, except I get an extra attack with him. Ah, crap. Well, that's annoying. Wow. Savage Roar, well, I can't play it. So I can just ignore this, basically. And I will. That was a big risk. I could have killed it by taking 5 damage to the face, or by losing my Berserker. But I chose to play the Wild Growth, making an exception to the rule of not letting Paladins keep creatures. But I think it was worth it there. Alright, so he's going to just play the bear, hide behind the bear, and swing at my face. These guys all have 3 power, which is frustrating for this Keeper of the Grove. That's definitely irritating. Well, I guess we'll play a Twilight Drake then, and pass a turn. Man, that Grizzly was really good right there. It was big enough to survive against my Berserker, and it had Taunt preventing me from killing his Berserker. I gotta start respecting that Grizzly a lot more than I have been, I think. By the way, if this had been a Claw, I could have just killed that bear. Sigh. Oh no, that's bad. So now when Noble Sacrifice is flushed out, it'll actually be a 3-2, which is important, because that means that it will actually survive my Shapeshift, which is ordinarily a very good way of flushing out Noble Sacrifices. Okay, I gotta think very carefully here. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna assume it's Noble Sacrifice and flush it out with the Twilight Drake. I'm gonna Savage Roar. Wait. I should probably flush it out myself, shouldn't I? Yes, I think so. That makes a lot more sense. Let's flush out the Noble Sacrifice. It's not Noble Sacrifice. Oh my god, is it Redemption? Thank goodness. That would have been really awkward if it had been Redemption. Okay. I could kill this with my Berserker, but then the sword would be able to finish it off. Then again, he would take a lot of, or 5 damage for doing that. I think it's actually still better, though. I want to keep this alive. So we'll kill that thing. And then we'll hit him there. It's not Eye for an Eye. Okay, so it's not Redemption, Eye for an Eye, or Noble Sacrifice. It is a Repentance. My next minion will only have 1 health, which is good to know, because I was going to play that Ogre. And instead I can't. So good on my opponent. He did a nice job there. That secret actually is quite effective, although he probably doesn't know it. Because it stops me from doing my Ogre. Rifleman. Well, this guy's a piece of crap. The problem is I want to play the Questing Adventurer and then the Rifleman. But then the Questing Adventurer will bite the Repentance. I could play this guy, but there's no good targets right now that I can see. I mean, I could silence this and then kill it with the Drake and survive. Then I'd be open up to Consecration because this guy would only have 1 health. You know what? I'm gonna do this.
Give me a quest.
Trigger the Repentance. Fine. No problem. Play a quest or the Ironforge Rifleman, which has no good targets. So I'll just shoot my opponent in the face with him.
Who you want me killed?
I'll do that and that. And I'm still really vulnerable to Consecration, but a Consecration would be almost his whole turn. And he'd not be playing units getting buffed by the Sword of Justice. Then I drop an Ogre. I'd be in good shape. Man, that was like one of the best Repentances I've ever seen. Alright, the Yeti, getting buffed by the Sword of Justice, very good for my opponent because it stops my Berserker from being able to trade into it. That is certainly a frustration. Wrath, huh? Well, if I want to play the Ogre, gotta play it. I just hate the fact that if I play the Ogre, I can't kill this Yeti. And the Yeti will get to kill my Questing Adventurer. Okay, we're not gonna play the Ogre here. Do I actually dare hit this Yeti with my face? I'm getting a little low on health. You know what? Let's just do Wrath. So I'm gonna Wrath this, draw a card. Maybe I'll get something playable. Oh! Elven Archer. Well. Oh my god, Elven Archer. It actually doesn't have any good targets. This trades already. This trades already. I could do Elven Archer and Shapeshift to kill the Recruit, but then I'm not playing the Keeper of the Grove. So we're going to play Keeper of the Grove, deal 2 damage there. I'm going to play Elven Archer mostly to just play another minion to buff the Questing Adventure more. I'm going to use my Berserker, best 2-drop in the game, to kill off the Yeti. And okay, so that Questing Adventure is indeed winning the game for me. It was Questing Adventure versus some other rare that I can't remember, and I didn't like the rare that much. I was like, well, this might win me the game sometimes, and here it is. It's winning me the game. Mad Bomber. Oh my god, it hit the Elven Archer. Well, that certainly was good for my opponent. But he really needs an answer like a Humility for this Questing Adventure. The problem is the Questing Adventure, even if you humiliate it, its ability is still there, so as I play more cards, its power will grow and so will its health. So it's not a good answer. Choose Over Champion doesn't quite kill the Questing Adventure. He needed one of these bombs to hit the Questing Adventure and did not. This would be a horrible mistake. You gotta hit the 2-4, right? It's just as good. Hitting me in the face is also a mistake because he gains 2 health, but he loses it right back when these minions attack him, so if it's gonna hit you anyway, you might as well kill it. Poor play by my opponent here. Bam, bam, the Paladin does not know how to get it done. Let's take a look here. We got 6, 8, 10, 11... 12 damage that I can deal. Do I play the Frostwolf Warlord? Well, I've got the chance, or just drop the Ironbark here. I think the Ironbark's fine. Okay, so we're threatening lethal in like a couple of different ways. These 2 minions, this Ironbark, this Questing Adventure, all of it's lethal. He needs a Quality Consecration. If he has a Quality Consecration, he could still win this game actually, because he'd clear my board. He could hit me in the face and heal up to 6. It would take me 6 turns to kill him with Shapeshift, and he'd still have this Mad Bomber. He's going to Blessing of Kings. That is not a Quality plus Consecration. So the Ironbark dies, but my opponent is still on dire straits. On dire straits? In dire straits. There's a point of order. My opponent could have killed both of these minions and be at exactly the same health total that he currently is. But he wasn't. I mean, he would have lost anyway because of the Questing Adventure. But anyway, we did it, folks. We did it. Up to 4 wins. We're above average now. Got that other daily quest. With a little bit of luck, I might actually stay above 6,000 gold. All right, I want to know if this guy's going to be one of those, like, people who actually wants to be friends, or if he's just going to, like, hate me and say mean things. Hello! Exclamation mark. I've always wanted someone to get so angry at me after an arena match that they friend me afterwards and then, like, spam me with abuse, but no one's ever done that to me. Oh, come on, tell me something mean about my mother. You. You. Whatever. Oh, Cobra, haven't seen you in a while. Alright, we will keep the Cobra and the Keeper. Again, because the Keeper is a pretty impactful 4-drop. Hey, we got it a Berserker. Well, that's awesome. You know, a little part of me was hoping that perhaps that was a fan of mine. Someone who had seen the channel. He recognized my name, Borissimo. He thought, oh my gosh, I played Papa Boris. And then he was going to say, Papa Boris, I'm a huge fan. It was an honor to meet you in the arena. Bite-sized summoner. Well, let's go ahead and threaten to kill it. The doink. Luckily, he used the coin for this. Well, not luckily. He had to play it on turn 1, so he cannot play 4-drops here. That's what I'm really worried about. Please make a recruit and pass the turn. Nope. Nope. Ah, Lord. That's obnoxious. Okay. I cannot kill this pine-sized summoner, unfortunately. So I could either put Mark of Nature on this thing and hit that and enrage it. Well, that would be dumb. Or I could kill this and take 5 damage to the face. Okay, well, we'll try a different tag this game. I will actually take 5 damage to the face. 4, I guess, from the armor. And now if he plays Ascension or a Yeti, I can use the Amani Berserker to trade it. Oh no, he'll use the Pine-Sized Summoner to kill it. Yeah, I'm in trouble because I don't have my own Yeti here. I can only play the Cobra and threaten to trade it. He's got a Grizzly. Well, that's good. So that means he didn't have a 4-drop. Is it a secret? Ah, lame. So I was going to shapeshift. Oh, no, sorry. I was going to just kill this Grizzly, but now it'll probably die to the Noble Sacrifice there. So I could play the Grizzly, or sorry, the Money Berserker, shapeshift into the Grizzly to fish out Noble Sacrifice. Or I could keep for the Grove, shoot down the Pine-Sized Summoner, and then just let the Noble Sacrifice kill my Berserker.
What to do?
Noble Sacrifice being pretty good here. I could also play Mark of Nature on this, make it a 5/5 taunt. Flush out the Noble Sacrifice with that. That seems kind of silly, actually. What is actually the right play here? Alright, we'll do this. This way I can also check to see maybe it's Repentance or Redemption. Okay, neither of those. So it's either Noble Sacrifice or Eye for an Eye. Is it worth flushing it out? You know what? I don't think it is. I'm just going to pass the turn here. I mean, if I'm almost certain that this is just going to kill my Berserker, there's no point in leaving this Berserker around. Alright.
Yes.
So now what I can do... Are you guys ready for this pro play? Shapeshift.
For the wild.
Swing into that. Flush out the Noble Sacrifice.
Get down!
Boom, baby. And here I've got a bevy of options. I think what I want to do is Mark of Nature on actually this guy. Make a nice 2/8 taunter.
Who you want me
And we'll kill the Senjin off. And sure, let's run in there. Make sure that if you did have some kind of crazy buff for this, that it would die. Well, it really wouldn't. There's no buff that would give this big enough health to kill the Keeper without also being Blessing of Kings. But anyway, whatever. It's okay. All right, so at least I'm preserving some health with that taunt. And okay, let's shapeshift up. Kill this thing. A little bit of a problem that this Worgen will actually now get to trade against my Keeper, because it can run in and then turn on Wind Fury and attack again. But that's okay. So we'll do Senjin. I think this guy's done his job. I'm a little bit frustrated that I'm at 16 health, but against a Paladin, it's a little bit safer than against most other classes. What I don't want to see is a buff on this, because if you can buff it with a Shattered Sun Cleric, or God forbid Blessing of Kings, then it can clear both my minions and have an absolutely terrifying minion. Actually, he'd pretty much win the game if that was the case, but there was no way that I could have killed this thing. I just had no way of killing it. Consecration. Okay. Well, that will allow him to kill both my minions, but it's a 2 for 2, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm actually okay with it. He dealt 2 damage and 2 for 2'd me. It's fine. Murloc Raider. Wow. I would have just made a recruit there, honestly. Okay. So I'm going to keep hitting stuff with my face because it's going to hit me anyway, so I might as well kill it. Follow my own logic. Now, after playing this Berserker, I can either do this, which puts more minions on the board, or I can do this, which is going to kill something that he might play. I mean, really, this is good because it helps the Warlord and Soul of the Forest, but this is good because it can kill a big minion he might drop. Let's say he plays like a War Golem after this. I'll be really stupid if I'm holding this Razorfen Hunter. So though this is better in a number of respects, I think I need to play it safe here. I don't think I'm so far behind that I need to take huge risks. Now, I'm way ahead on cards. I have twice as many as he does, and as the first player, no less. This is good. This is really, really good because it's not a threat. Now, him drawing cards, of course, is unfortunate, but that's still fine in my books. Okay, let's do this. And either Soul of the Forest or Frostwolf Warlord. Well, I think I need to put some pressure on the field here. Let's do Frostwolf Warlord. Hit the Acolyte with the Cobra. So the Acolyte, drawing a card, not a big deal. That's just basically a card cycle for 3 mana. 13 health, a little bit precarious, but my board now has quite a lot of power on it. As you can see, I can deal with any big minion he might play. Soul of the Forest could be good here as well. Hammer of Wrath, really unimpressive. It's half of his mana. It does give him card advantage, but he's so behind on cards that I don't care if he spends half his mana getting up a card. This is really unimpressive as well. And a recruit.
Reporting for duty.
Alright, Elven Archer actually pretty good here. much as I hate to say it. So we're gonna shoot that. Suck some steel. Play Scarlet Crusader. And Soul of the Forest. The difference between 1 health and 2 health doesn't matter much against Paladins, so I will keep my Piglet alive, keep as much board presence on as I can. This does play into, you know, Elven Archer and whatnot, but Soul of the Forest was pretty epic right there. Even if he clears my board, I get all of my trees back. So he pretty much has to burn me out with True Silver Champions and charge creatures, which is possible. But he doesn't have it. Alright, well, we actually make it to 5 wins. That is the top of my prediction range, so if I win the next game and go up to 6, then after an 0-2 start, I will have actually reached a success. I actually want my prediction to be wrong at this point. I want to make it to 6. That would be such a coup if I could get up to 6 wins after starting so badly. Hunter, certified. Oh, that's such a good name. I didn't even realize it until I said it out loud. Certified. Oh my god, that's hilarious. This person who friended me didn't do anything. He didn't say anything, and I've got a handful of 3-drops as the first player. That is my life in a nutshell. This could have been a claw, as I will say every single time. Wow, that is like the worst Boulder Fist Ogre I've ever drafted. I gotta say. I pretty much wished it would have been a claw every single time. Well, learned your lesson. Boulder Fist Ogres are good, but if you need removal, you should take removal. Thankfully, he doesn't have anything. I don't have anything, unfortunately. So I'll be answering his 3-drop with probably a Scarlet Crusader. That's the thing that holds up against most 3-drops. There are some... Well, he could play a 2-drop. He might have had a 2-drop but didn't want to coin it, which is also a possibility. But most likely he'll coin into a 3-drop here. No, he's in a steady shot. Super slow start for my opponent. Well, I'm going to play Razorfen Hunter instead of the Scarlet Crusader. I think that's better on an empty board. Alright, this is a really slow start for my opponent. He's just got nothing going on here. Like the opposite of Stacy's mom. Alright, how do we kill this grunt? I think we'll just... Well, what I don't like about this move is it opens me up to Unleash the Hounds with all these 1-toughness minions. I could play Spellbreaker, silence this guy. I'm not sure what the point of that is, honestly, though. I could also play the Berserker, Shapeshift, and then kill the Shield Bearer. But then this guy will get to kill my Piglet. I don't know. We'll do this. I mean, that's just life, I think. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. That way I can play the Boulder Fist Ogre on turn 5, which is really better than anything else I could have done on that turn. So Unleash the Hounds is really good here, especially if he plays Buzzard. He'd draw 3 cards, kill off 2 of my minions, leave this thing with enough health. My Berserker can't get past it. Oh my gosh, he actually has it. It's amazing how many times people have had that particular... Oh no, no, not Unleash the Hounds! Just a Timberwolf, well that is totally fine by me. That is 100% A-okay. Couldn't care less, because now this thing's at 1 health, my Piglet will finish it off, and then my Berserker will get to kill that Buzzard. Of course, it'll die to the Buzzard. Maybe I could kill the Wolf and get greedy. Then I need to Shapeshift, which means that my Wild Growth was a complete waste. LOL! Or I could silence this thing, use the Piglet to kill the Buzzard. Well, okay, I think this is probably the best. So we'll silence that to get rid of the taunt. Now I'm going to kill the Wolf, Shapeshift, kill the Buzzard, and Piglet, kill the Shield Bearer. Note that I did need to silence that in order to be able to kill the Wolf, so the Buzzard would deal less damage, and so the Piglet could kill the Shield Bearer without dying. Well, we learned a very interesting fact last turn. We learned that he did not have Unleash the Hounds. That's good. And I ended up using 6 mana, so the Wild Growth wasn't a loss. He's got 7 cards to my 7, soon to be 8. And I am 2 mana ahead of him. That's pretty good. This is a good place to be. I should have played around Explosive Shot by keeping the pig in the middle. He flips a Leak, which is the worst thing he could have flipped there. So that was unlucky for him, unless he has a charge creature, perhaps. He's got another animal companion. Okay. He's got the bear now. The bear prevents the Leok from just dying to the Spellbreaker. But I think he's still in a little bit of trouble here. just gonna use my Berserker to kill the bear. Use a Spellbreaker to kill the Leok. Swing with the pig. And yeah, I'm gonna open wide to unleash the hounds. I mean, he didn't have it a couple turns ago, and he's already used a buzzard, so he'd have to have had another buzzard and top deck to unleash the hounds in the last couple of turns to be able to do it here. I'm at a high enough life total, he can't kill me with the hounds, and this is a lot of power. This is 8, 10, 11, 13 power here. Oh my gosh, maybe he does have it. No, he still does not have Unleash the Hounds. That's twice now Unleash the Hounds would have been amazing. It would have let him throw away a bunch of hounds and make this super huge. Alas, for my opponent, it was not to be, so we'll just die mage. Play an ogre. Shapeshift. I've got enough health that this is okay to take 3 damage. We're gonna go to battle. And my opponent, I'm sure he's certified here. He's a certified Grandmaster Hunter player. Had Unleashed the Hounds, and well, I don't know, I'm not certain he had Unleashed the Hounds in the draft, but if he had Unleashed the Hounds in the draft, he certainly would have drafted it, I hope. And if he had drawn it on 2 occasions this game, he would have been in very good shape. This guy loves him some Houndmasters, it seems. Soul of the Forest. What is that trap? Is it Freezing Trap? Is that what it is? Alright, we'll check for Freezing Trap like this. It's not Freezing Trap. Seems to imply it's probably Explosive Trap. So, because it is likely an Explosive Trap, I'm not going to play these minions first. I will Soul of the Forest without them. And then I will trigger Explosive Trap. And I guess correctly, because I'm good at this game. The Piglet and my Knight die, but the trees come back in their place. I think I'm still at a high enough life total I can keep on shapeshifting here. For the wilds. Me smash. And I will play a Cobra. Just in case he drops a big Taunter or a High Mane or something like that, I can get rid of it very effectively. There's the Argent Commander. Not super impressive here because my Ogre doesn't even die, but he will kill the Cobra with it. Of course, then one of my Soul of the Forest trees will get to kill this guy. Hang on a minute. Let me check for the win. 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 damage. 13 damage. 13 damage. Yep. That's not enough to kill him, so I will have one of these trees go on a detour just in case of shenanigans. Oh, I should have played the Frostwolf Warlord before doing that. Well, that's okay. We'll do this, and this, Shapeshift, and Innovate's just going to be a dead card this game. Unleash the Hounds, if he's only got 2 cards, Unleash the Hounds isn't enough to win. In theory, if his 2 cards are Starving Buzzard and Unleash the Hounds, he might draw like 2 Timberwolves off of it, and then actually get enough damage to kill me, but that seems very unlikely, so I'm pretty sure I've got the game here. Which means Certified the Hunter goes down, he needed Unleash the Hounds, and he didn't have it. Oh, he actually did have it! Oh my gosh, well that's very fortunate that he didn't have it any earlier, because there were like at least 2 times here where he could have had a really great situation for himself if he had Unleashed the Hound. So yes, he had it, he just got it too late. Well, I often say that I can never catch a break, but in this game, I caught a break. I will be honest. And we make it to 6 wins. So, wow, 0-2 and now 6-2. Dang. That is a little crazy. I really honestly did not expect that with this deck. You know, it's funny because at the beginning of this video, I was like, well, you know, in a recent video, I was 1-2 as a Paladin, but I knew it was a good deck, so I knew I would do well, and I did. But this time, you see, this time it's all totally different, and I know it's going to suck. And then it actually ends up being a successful run. Well, that's life. Though maybe it's just a different time of day, different people are playing. I mean, yes, the first part of this video was done yesterday, so it's possible these are just not as good players. Captain Carrots. Although, honestly, that game against the Hunter, it really is just the fact that I got lucky because they didn't have Unleash the Hounds. So I caught a break, I think, in that game, more than anything. Elven Archer. Well, it'll kill a recruit, so it's nice that I'm against a Paladin. It's, you know, a higher than average chance that it'll have a target. Of course, keep in mind, Paladins are not obligated to play recruits. You can also play real cards. Please observe. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. All right, everyone, are you ready for this? Please observe. The correct way to play Elven Archer on turn 1. You pass the turn! Don't play turn 1 Elven Archer just to shoot your opponent in the face. That is dumb. It's gonna coin out. That's unfortunate, because it means it's probably not a recruit. It's a Knife Juggler. Well, the good news is that River Crocolisk holds up somewhat well against Knife Juggler. In another life, I would have played in Bonnie Berserker, but obviously if we're just trading against a Knife Juggler here, it's not a big deal. I just don't want him to have an Argent Protector now. That would be the worst. The worst, I say. The worst. He has an Argent. No, he has a Hand of Protection. Well, that's better than an Argent Protector. At least it's not putting a body on the board. So that's good. And okay, we're going to use Elven Archer here. Who plays Elven Archer? Papa Boris, that's who. See, this is why you wait. Had I played Elven Archer on turn 1, I would have shot him in the face. I would have used the Elven Archer to, you know, run in and kill the Knife Juggler. But then I wouldn't have the Elven Archer on the board anymore. So it's like having it on the board versus him being at 29 health. Clearly there is one option that is better than the other here, folks. Alright, he's got to play an Ooze. Now I got a couple of options. I could play Senjin and leave this alive. Or I could play the Berserker and kill this. Well, don't let Paladins keep creatures, folks. He's already shown one buff spell. Hand of Protection, might as well. Not let him have too many more opportunities for that kind of a thing. Alright, if he has a good 4-drop here, he can be in pretty good shape. Like a simple Yeti or a Senjin would put him in good stead, because I couldn't kill it then. I have already used my Elven Archer, so I wouldn't be able to self-damage this to trade, unless, of course, I top deck my other MVP card, Ironforge Rifleman. Sigh. Alright, my opponent actually completely passes turn 4. That is crazy. But, of course, it's not entirely crazy. He did that because he didn't want my Berserker to get enraged against his recruit. Well, we'll start the Questing Adventurer party. See how that goes. My opponent now has to deal with this. The nice thing is that any way of dealing with this would be like his entire turn. But I already had this in play last turn, so if he had a True Silver Champion or a Hammer of Wrath, he would have used it instead of just passing the entire turn. Okay, we've got a couple of options here. I can either play Soul of the Forest, so that these guys respawn, or I can play a Senjin and hope that the Senjin will die to the Tiger, leaving the Questing Adventurer alive. Alright, we'll do the Senjin. Since he's demonstrated for 2 turns in a row not having True Silver Champion, Hammer, or Hammer of Wrath, I feel like this is going to be pretty safe. I couldn't kill this anyway because of stealth. The one thing that he might have had was a Consecration. Consecration would have obviously been terrible to use. It just would have enraged my guys and killed nothing. So if he has a Consecration and a Quality, now on turn 6 he can play it, clear my board, and win the game. But that's just how it is against Paladins. It's hard to win if they have Consecration and Quality. Because you really don't want to play around it, since if the game is at all close, playing around it might make you lose. But if they have it, it's just good stuff for them. Alright, so he's going to put Blessing of Wisdom on a Sea Giant. Fair enough. And then run in with his dude. Alright, Sunwalker could be good. War Golem, well. Alright, I mean, it worked once. Let's try it again. I will 2-for-1 myself, losing a Berserker to the Tiger there. I'm never going to swing. So it is possible that I will actually burn him out. Because if he doesn't have an answer to this Divine Shield, and the Sea Giant just runs in it and pops it, then I've got, you know, 11 damage already. 12 with Shapeshift, and then more for however many cards as I played above the Questing Adventurer. So he actually does need an answer here. Now with 5 cards, he probably has Taunt, Life Gain, or Removal, but he does need to have something or he loses, which is nice. As I often say, gotta keep asking your opponent questions, because eventually they might run out of answers. He's gonna draw a card. He made a bit of a mistake here. He should have really attacked first and then played this, because now he's spent 5 of 7 minutes. What if the card he drew was like a Spellbreaker or something? Says well played, as if he doesn't have an answer. And the victory is mine. Wow, made it 7 wins. Well, now it's just crazy seeing how far we can go here, because this is a streak, folks. I started out 0-2 in this run. It was so bad, the losses were so crushing, I actually played a 3rd game in the first video because I thought for sure it was going to be another, well, not for sure, but I thought it might be another 0-3 run. Man, that's kind of crazy that I made it this far. What was I going to say? My Sunwalker could have been an Argent Commander. I was really torn in that pick during the draft, and I think I was glad it was a Sunwalker, at least in that game. Stopped my Questing Adventurer from dying, and it helped me win a turn sooner. Plus, it was good in other games as well, even when there weren't other targets for removal. Now, if it had been an Argent Commander, I could have killed the Sea Giant by running in with Divine Shield and then finishing it off with the Questing Adventurer, but this just goes to show how a lot of times you don't really realize what a better play would have been. Like, I would have played the Argent... Let's say I had picked the Argent Commander. I would have played it, and it would have felt fine. Unless I was really paying attention and remembering that it could have been a Sunwalker, I wouldn't have even thought to consider whether that was the right draft pick or not. Nemesis. Okay. Well, I think what I want to do is I want to get rid of this guy from my friends list, because he didn't say anything to me when I said hello. So, that's that. This is a pretty bad hand, but at least I'm the second player finally, so I can play one of these on turn 2. Nope, never mind. Man, these Berserkers, well, I'm happy that these Berserkers keep showing up early as often as they have been. I've gotten to play them a lot in the early games. Watch this be like the game where I get pummeled into oblivion. After having a super fast start, I can have like 4 minions on the board on turn 3. He mulligans 2/3 of his hand, so this card is the card he kept. Let's see if it's an early play, if it's a card that he likes. He's hovering over his hero portrait. And passes the turn. Alright, Nourish. Wow, I haven't seen that card like in ages. Nourish has not really had much impact this arena. At all, I would say. Hehehe, it's time for a little blood. That was the most terrible accent ever. He's in a steady shot, so slow start for my opponent. Nothing on turn 1 or 2. So whatever card he kept, presumably then is some kind of like a good 4-drop or something. Or maybe he's holding on to, maybe he held on to like Unleash the Hounds to make sure that he had it. Yeah, if he ever plays Unleash the Hounds or a Starving Buzzard, I'm going to be curious if it was this card. The card he kept in his opening hand. He's going to Wolf Rider to kill off one of my 2-drops. So it's like a 3-mana removal for, oh ho ho! Wow. Do I punish that by shapeshifting and attacking him? You know what? No, I'm actually gonna let him get away with it, and just play a Razor Hunter. So I let him get away with murder there. He should have killed my creatures. He was risking something for nothing. But I think it was better to upgrade my 2/3 into a 2/3 and a 1/1 than to take more damage killing that. He flips what is probably the worst one that he could have flipped there, because it has low power and it doesn't charge. Savage Roar is worth considering. It would let the Berserker kill the Leok, get enraged, and then I'd also hit him for an extra 6 damage, so it'd be kind of like a rushing play. Alright, I'm not going to do that though, we're just going to go ahead and play Ascension. So this is doing a lot less damage, but I'm still enraging my Berserker, and now I'm protecting my stuff against Unleash the Hounds here. Buzzard plus Hounds would draw him 4 cards, but the Hounds would all be running up against Ascension, so it wouldn't be all that impressive. Here's the Buzzard he just drew. Is this Unleash the Hounds? I'm very curious. It is! Oh my gosh, I'm so good at this game. So I guessed right, or I possibly guessed right, that the one card that he kept from his mulligan was Unleash the Hounds to make sure that he had it. And then he top-decked the Buzzard and drew a bunch of cards. Well, I'm fine with that because, again, they're running into Ascension unless he has a Timberwolf here. Is that seriously an Elven or motherfucking Archer? Arcane Shot. Okay, I'm fine. As long as it's not an Elven Archer, I'm okay with it. It's all good by me. He's actually not even going to run with the Hounds at all. Well, let's Wrath the Buzzard. Draw a card. Spellbreaker not that helpful. Savage Roar not that helpful. I'm gonna shapeshift rather than play a Scarlet Crusader here. I'll trade a Piglet for a Hound. I'll use Ascension to kill a Hound. Do you kill the other Hound with this thing? Basically, by keeping this alive, I'm enabling, like, kill command. I'm actually going to play it safe, and I'm going to kill that thing. So, he's got 8 cards to my 6, but I can Nourish at some point later, perhaps, depending on how much pressure he's able to put on me.
You gotta be kidding me!
Well, that's pretty good pressure, but it means he's not going to be able to play that many more minions. Alright, I think the Ogre's actually a good move here. So what I'm really afraid of is a deadly shot after he uses this to kill this engine. And he's got, again, lots of cards, so it's not super unlikely that he has one. But I think it's worth the risk. The Hounds put him way ahead, so when you're behind, take risks. Does he have the deadly shot? Or doesn't he? He has the deadly shot. Well, what are you going to do? Luckily, he can't do anything else because of this dude. Ironbark Protector, not playable. This is also not playable. Either I silence this, which is obviously bad, or I silence the Scarlet Crusader that I'm about to play, which is also bad. So we'll play Druid of the Claw. I'm actually going to take a little bit of a chance here. I'm going to charge. I'm going to start racing him. I feel like he's got enough card advantage that I need to take that risk. So if he runs in and kills it, then I got 4 extra damage through, and I think that could potentially be very important in this game. It's got another deadly shot, though. Well, then it means at least I still got 4 damage through, and hopefully he can't play any more minions. Yeah, he's just racing me. Alright, well, he's used 2 deadly shots. My hope is he doesn't have a third. I mean, really, who would play with 3 deadly shots? This is very difficult for a hunter to deal with if he doesn't have deadly shot. He will have to 2-for-1 himself using the Ventricle Mercenary and some other spell. Unless he plays like a 6-mana Shatterton Cleric or something like that to trade efficiently. Direwolf Alpha works quite nicely. Lets him kill off the Ironbark. That Ventricle Mercenary hit me for a lot and killed a bunch of minions. Well, killed 2 minions. Now he can play the Pirate. That is alright, I think. Because what we can do is Keeper of the Grove. Shoot that thing dead. And Scarlet Crusader. And Shapeshift. I'm not going to attack into this, of course. Things are getting a little bit hairy. He's got a lot of cards from that Hound still. He was really all set with those Hounds. But I could still hang on here. I mean, our life totals are not that different. And because I'm a Druid, he only really deals a damage to me per turn. Oh my god, that Kodo is way too good. Damn it. God, that sucks. And he also gives it charge. Crap. He's actually going to go for the throat here. Which makes sense. Good thing I'm a Druid, but man, unleash the Hounds. Well, anyway, you can see now why I said that it was me catching a break. That my last opponent didn't have Unleash the Hounds. It's a real game changer of a card. So he's got 5 damage, 6, 7, and then any sort of direct damage, and he wins. 2 damage is all. Don't say my apologies, you asshole. Ugh. You don't need to apologize for having 2 damage with 8 mana. That's pretty normal, jerk. Alright, what you got for me? He's got a kill command. Alright, I'm not even gonna give. I was gonna give him a well played, but I'm not gonna because he's an ass dick. And that was the game. So anyway, made it to 7 wins. Pretty good to have the loss after having 7 straight wins in a row. Makes me wonder if I could have gotten even higher if I hadn't come up against 2 strong opponents in the first couple of games. And I will stay above 6,000 gold, a new milestone for Papa Boris here. So if you enjoyed that, please like and or subscribe. Got a pretty mediocre reward, but that's fine. Honestly, I could use the dust, and I've gotten really good rewards in my last few runs, so I don't mind a little bit of bad luck. Now, what? You can't click and move anymore. You have to drag it. So obnoxious. Anyway, let's see what we got here. Good rare, but a rare that I already have. And disenchant. Oh man, I hate disenchanting. Animation kills me. What if I press escape? Okay, that worked. That worked. Oh, I still have to watch that though. God, lame. The next arena, what's it gonna be? It's gonna be a hunter, a priest, or a warrior. Probably hunter, I think. Although I have done hunter recently. Hunter is still the one with the fewest plays. Maybe I'll do priest because it's been a little bit longer. I don't know. I'll take a look at my channel. Thanks for watching, folks, again. I'll see you next time.